Idonas Hughes from California State University, Monterey Bay. You have been elected as member at large of the National Council of Alpha Lambda Delta. Your experience and commitment to the work of Alpha Lambda Delta indicates your knowledge of and interest in the future of society. As a council member, you are involved in the decisions and policies that give direction to the society at the national level. It is your responsibility to consider each matter that comes before the council and to be guided by your knowledge of the society and by your good judgment on the positions you support. As a member at large of the National Council, you are elected to participate in one or more committees, to respond to requests from the officers and the executive director for assistance and advice, and to represent the society where possible for you to do so. We are pleased you have accepted membership on the National Council, and if you agree to these responsibilities, please indicate by saying, "I will." Congratulations.
Thanks.
Fabulous. Okay, that concludes our installation of Idonas Hughes. Welcome, Idonas. We're so thrilled you're here. We are thrilled to have Giselle Mansi from High Point University, who is our 2020 Outstanding Advisor of the Year, and she is going to say a few words. So welcome, thank you, congratulations. Your chapter spoke very highly of you for good reason. So congratulations, and I'm going to give it over to you.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. First of all, thank you for having me. It's been such a great day. I've had such a great time listening to all the presentations. I've been taking notes, and I'm excited to meet with my officers and be able to talk about what we learned and what we can do in our chapter. And it's just been a beautiful, and I mean, thank you to everybody that presented and everybody that has shared what they do in their chapters. And I'm humbled to be able to share a few words with you guys. And I was excited to be in Tampa, but COVID happened. But you know what? This is as good as it gets, and it's sunny in North Carolina. It's not 80 degrees, but it is still beautiful. So just to start, I've had a lot of reflecting to do, a lot of, I thought about what I wanted to share. And obviously, the year 2020 has been quite unique and very full of events, if you will. And so I'm sure if you look at my little memes, these are my top 3. Literally, that's how I've looked in January. And then I went through the months, and since June, I feel like I've just been pulling my hair. I literally, the cow over there is my life right now. I'm physically everywhere, but mentally, I want to be in the ocean. I know you asked if you wanted to live by the ocean or in the mountains. I want to be in the ocean, like far away in a cruise somewhere. And then Baby Yoda, because who doesn't like Baby Yoda? But as I thought about 2020, I kind of, I was talking to some people at work, and I kind of mentioned, they were asking me like, Giselle, what are you going to be talking about? And I was like, you know what? I have so many things in my head, but one of the things that have come to my mind is that 2020, in a way, is kind of reminding me of, or I think 2020 will go down in the books, kind of like the way 9/11 went down in the books. Now, if you know, if you were alive and present in 9/11, and I think that's most of us, I think all of us remember that day clearly. You remember where you were, what you were doing, who you were with. At least for me, I remember I was in 8th grade. It tells you my age. I was in 8th grade, and I was walking in to my history class, and we were in this huge auditorium. And I remember walking in, and all the TVs were on, and I was like, what kind of movie is this? Like, what's going on? What are we watching in history today? And, we all kind of set the same question. And my teacher was giving us his back, and all of a sudden he turns around and he said, guys, what's on TV right now is literally history in the making. And that's all he said. And I remember just standing there or sitting there and thinking, like, you know, what does he mean? Like, what's going on? And we're watching the towers fall, and, you know, and all of a sudden it became this very scary situation. And I remember he said, from this day on, things will be very different. And you guys will be witnessing history firsthand. Things are going to be rewritten. Life will change as it is. And, you know, and you look back and you kind of, you know, life did change. Certain things, and depending where you were in the country, I remember there was so many different things going on. And so when I think of 2020, I feel like it's going to have a very similar effect on us. I think it's not going to be one single event, but we're going to think of the whole year as a whole, because we witnessed fires, mass destruction, loss of human life. We almost saw animals go extinct. We saw royalty renounce the titles. We lost big names in entertainment. We almost lost our minds trying to hoard toilet paper and hand sanitizer. We are in the middle of a pandemic where all of a sudden we're required to wear face masks and social distance. And depending where you were in the country, some of us, we saw protests, looting, lockdowns, curfews. We witnessed people rising up and speaking about social injustices. There's been a lot going on. And also the obvious, in a few weeks, we are going to go through elections. I mean, that's all you see on TV right now. And we're literally 4 weeks away from deciding the fate of our country. However, on that same coin, we also saw people coming together. We saw people around the world helping one another, going in aid. We saw countless acts of service from people all over the world. We saw people unite over a cause or one another, behind nurses, doctors, teachers, behind, you know, rescuing animals and fires and you know, and giving out a hand. Somehow, some way, Tiger King and Baby Yoda made us forget what was going on for a minute. But then at the same time, some places in our country, at least I know where we were during lockdown, when we had to be home, we had the blessing to spend time with our families. Now, other people, we haven't been able to see our family. I know part of my family is down in Florida and down in Argentina. And so I have, you know, there's travel restrictions. So we haven't been able to see many people. And I know for me, in the past 6 months, it's been a blur. It's been, you know, so many things. We went on lockdown. We came home, then we went back to the university. Where I'm at Happy University, our classes are in person, and we're trying to do things, you know, where we can protect the students. And there's we're trying to balance how much we can do in person, how much we can do virtual, and how do we keep them connected, and how, you know, and I'm doing triple duty, trying to do all these different things. And so I know, needless to say, 2020 has been very interesting so far. And so today, I really hope that as we look back on 2020 and we look ahead on what's left, that my message can resonate with everyone, with the students, with faculty, with staff, and be able to really think about the kind of change that we want to see in the world. To the students that are listening today, I know the world around you may look scary, uncertain, and you may be wondering, what is my future going to look like in a few years, or even now if you're graduating? How will the pandemic affect my future? How is the nation going to able to grow and heal from the contention and the misunderstanding that we have? And I don't have all the answers. I don't know many of them. If I did, I'd probably be making a lot of money. I'll be working for some kind of, you know, something and just telling you what's going to happen. But my answer to everyone today that's wondering these questions is really to look within us, to look within you. You, my students, and even us, we are the immediate future. Our choices will have a profound effect on our life, but then also on the generations that are about to come up. Our choices will also affect the generations ahead of us. And so in a world where people are being divided, deceived, and carried away by the latest trends, you can be the one to plant a seed of faith, of greatness, and of love. There is a quote that I absolutely love, and I try to live by it every single day, and it's by Mahatma Gandhi, and it says, "Be the change that you wish to see in the world." It's hard to believe that in the last 9 months have gone by. We literally just have exactly, well, as of yesterday, it would have been exactly 3 months left to 2020. That means that we have 90 days to the year. But that means that we also have 90 opportunities to plant seeds of positivity, 90 opportunities to be an influence of good, 90 opportunities to plant that which we want to see in the world. The seed can be anything, anywhere from an act of service, anywhere to a listening ear, sending a letter, checking in with someone, learning and teaching. It could be a very simple act of service made specifically with love. And I love the little quote that I have right now where it says, "Small acts, when multiplied by millions of people, can change the world." Our social media right now is flooded with arguments, with people mocking one another. And there's so many other negative things. I know my Facebook, I go in 5 minutes and after a while I have to shut down because I'm overwhelmed. There's so much division and people are just, disagreeing. And it seemed like for a moment we were all united, and now again, we're kind of going side by side or against. But it makes me think, what would happen if we actually took the time to talk to one another, not at each other, but to talk? What if we actually listened more than we talked? What if we all sat at the table together and we shared our experiences to one another with the goal of truly learning what makes the other person who they are? I think if we really listen to one another with the intent of understanding, we will find many things in common, and it wouldn't matter where we're from. We will come to understand their pain. We will feel more compassionate. We will strive to have more meekness and be able to serve one another. I think our lack of understanding and the need to feel right and validated has really put a strain on our everyday interactions. However, it doesn't have to stay that way forever, and we can really make a difference if we start looking inward to start working outward. And so whether you believe in God or in a higher being, it doesn't matter what religion you are and what your belief systems are, you cannot deny the fact that you have a purpose for this time. You were chosen to be alive today, 2020. And what a time to be alive, right? You are alive for such a time like this. We are witnessing today another historical moment, kind of like 9/11, except that it's lasting a little bit longer. But history was written yesterday, it is being written today, and it will continue to be written tomorrow. You and I are living historical times, and we will continue to witness the effects of the pandemics for months to come. But instead of feeling down or depressed about our current situation, I do want to challenge you and instead think about how you can write your own history for such a time like this. I challenge you to be intentional in your actions and in your interactions with the days that we have left in 2020. In the words of Mother Teresa, I alone cannot change the world, but I can cast a stone across the waters to create many ripples. Thank you so much for giving me the time to share a few words. I absolutely have enjoyed every minute that I have been with ALD, for the opportunity that I have to work with my students, to be able to mentor them, to teach, to lead from behind. I believe that my students are grown enough to make their decisions, to make good ones, to make bad ones. But then if we make bad ones, let's go back and let's think about how we can make it better. And my greatest satisfaction is to see them not only see them as students, as scholars, but to see them grow as human beings that will enter the workplace and be able to make a difference in the world. Thank you.